I stayed with Steve and Laurence in their home in Fruita, Colorado. Steve gave one of the best interviews that I don't know, they've all been good, but his stuck with me particularly. It's so honest and so enlightening. Okay, Steve, are you ready for the three dream questions?
Oh, sure, go right ahead.
Okay, the first question is, what are your hopes and dreams?
Well, that's something I don't really think about. As far as a dream goes, I actually am living my dream, I guess you would say. Dream is kind of ephemeral to me. I guess you'd have to say my dream is to be able to continue doing exactly what I'm doing now. I don't have any need to change, or there's nothing off in the distance that I am trying to get to, other than just exactly where I am. I guess that's not much of a dream, but
So where is it that you are?
where I am, and in what I believe to be a stable marriage, and I have interests, the things that I like to do, primarily in archaeology, a subset of that called rock art, petroglyphs, pictographs, and I get to go around and search for those, experience them. I like to hike, and that allows me to do that. I like to take photographs. I get to do that along with it. I have my library. I can sit down and read. There's actually nothing that I want to do other than what I am now in fact doing. So
Can we take it up to a different level then? Because it sounds like personally you're living a very fulfilled and wonderful life. You're living your dream. If you could make a change, let's say you had a vision for the world or something, is there something that you would specifically, if you could change something, or a vision of for the next generation or something like that?
Well, I have kind of a pessimistic view of humanity. I would like to be able to say, well, yes, I'd like to see more peace in the world. I would like to see less dictatorships around, all that sort of thing. But that's what's more than ephemeral. It's nothing that's going to actually happen, I don't think. I don't know any way to get it to happen. So
if you could wish one thing for the world, what might it be?
well, peace, of course.
Peace.
Peace, of course, yes. We're just now celebrating the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasions, and it's difficult to even imagine, the horror that occurred with that. Second World War, the First War. You've got things on a smaller scale going on that way today, and it'd be nice not for it to be there. Fortunately, that's not human nature.
Mm. So, did you have different dreams as you were growing up? Were there some different things that you were thinking about as you grew up? You had other dreams. What were your dreams, I guess?
Well, I would never call it a dream. I had things I wanted to do. I mean,
kind of a goal, I guess,
yeah,
as
exactly.
opposed to a dream.
From day to day, you have to make decisions. Well, what classes do you take in school? Well, you pick a class that you like. That's what I did, and simply as a personal matter, you try to decide what it is you like, and then you go off and do it. And that's what I have always done.
My understanding is you've been very successful in the things. Did you ever? You didn't have something say, "This is kind of my end game thing," or I'd like. I mean, I know as a child myself, I wanted to be a fireman at one point, and I got to be a fireman for a while with Wildland Fires. But is there anything that you aspired to as a young person that?
Not in any grand scheme. You know, if I decided I wanted to be an accountant, I did, and I went out and passed the CPA exam, and I got a job doing that. And then I decided, well, I'd like to go off and be a lawyer, so I went off and did that. I decided I wanted to climb mountains, so I became a climb leader in the winter time and in the summer. I decided I wanted to help people in the mountains, so I joined mountain rescue and helped with that. I decided that a sea kayaking would be a great way to hike without having to carry the pack on my back. So decided to get into sea kayaking, and we sea kayaked in the Northwest. I sea kayaked in the Arctic Ocean and along the coasts of British Columbia. It's just been a process of deciding what is it that I'd like to do, and then I go off and do it. And if you say that's a dream, it's nothing that's planned out in the distance anywhere. Mm-hmm. It's just what's it possible to do. Got interested in motorcycles at the age of 40, and wife and I had a little trailer we pulled behind the motorcycle, and from Portland, Oregon, we rode that camping up to Alaska 3 times. I've ridden it to the East Coast twice doing that.
You understand that for some of us mortals, that sounds like you've lived a whole bunch of lifetimes within that. How many ever years you are old, you've lived a lot of people's dreams. It seems like. You've been very successful. You've got to do what you wanted to do.
Well, yeah, and I feel, I don't use the word blessed much, but if blessed is a word, that's what I've been. I have no idea why, but I can't say that there's anything that I really wanted to do that I haven't. I mean, there are some things. I mean, I can't say, oh, I really wanted to be an astronaut. Well, you can't really aspire to that, and frankly, I don't. I think I'd rather be out sea kayaking.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Is if you were to have a conversation, let's say you went back, you could go back in your body as an adult and go back and talk to the 12-year-old Steve. What would you tell the 12-year-old Steve? What would you give him any counsel or advice, or what would you give people that are just starting out in life?
I would say, to the best you can, find out what you like, and just pursue that. And money's not one of those things. I mean, whatever you do, it should not be, I want to be a dentist because they make a lot of money, or I'm going to be a this because it makes a lot of money. That means nothing. You'll find out what it is that you have an interest in, and just go out and do what you can to do that. You don't have to be the best at any of it. You just have to do what you can to be involved with it. You don't. If you like to run, it doesn't mean you have to be the fastest runner out there. You have to like to run. If you want to get on your bicycle and ride 1,000 miles with your camping gear, I've done that. You don't have to do it faster than anybody. You just go out and do it. So I don't know what else to say.
Wow. I don't know that anything else needs to be said. You've pretty much encapsulated. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't really have anything else. I mean, it's all kind of self-centered. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do this because it's going to help the world. I think, the world gets better by people doing things that they're actually involved with and not doing it for some other reason.
So if I'm hearing it correctly, I'm hearing that if individuals are actually doing what they're passionate about, that the ripple effect, it becomes that's maybe the best thing they can do for the world.
I would think so. I have nothing grand to say about
Yeah.
it yet.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.